Two Hamlet police officers recognized for their efforts. Richmond County Schools have released their updated schedule following recent winter storm closings, and we'll be talking the Bank of America 500 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway and how that will be much different this upcoming fall. All that and more coming up on tonight's edition of Live at 5. Folks, your nightly news starts right now. Good evening and welcome to your Tuesday edition of Live at 5. I'm Lance Jenkins. Tonight's show is brought to you by Simply Chic Boutique. Simply Chic Boutique located at 302 East Washington Street in downtown Rockingham. Fantastic place. They have designer clothing, accessories, all kinds of accessories really, shoes, purses, what have you. They also have home decor and children's clothing. Really neat place. You got to go see them. Simply Chic Boutique in downtown Rockingham. Folks from Moore County and Scotland County, Richmond County as well, and all over are coming to Simply Chic Boutique in downtown Rockingham. Let's get right to it, folks, now for tonight's top story. Hamlet Police Chief Scott Waters announced the recent awarding of certificates of achievement to two of his officers. Sergeant Robbie Carlisle was the recipient of an advanced law enforcement certificate. Carlisle is a night sergeant with 24 years of experience in law enforcement. In 1993 and 1994, he worked for the Wagram Police Department before transferring to the Laurinburg Police Department, where he was employed until 2013. After a brief stint in the private sector, Carlisle returned to law enforcement, hiring on with the Hamlet Police Department in May 2016. Also, Officer Chad Haywood was awarded his intermediate law enforcement certificate in December. Officer Haywood, who we've talked about previously on Live at 5, is assigned to the Hamlet Police Department's Patrol Division and is a relatively recent addition to Hamlet's finest. Hired in November 2017, Officer Haywood achieved his intermediate certification status in less than 2 months. A former deputy with the Richmond County Sheriff's Department from 2013 through 2015, Haywood transferred to the Scotland County Sheriff's Department for almost 2 years before he returned to Richmond County and joined the Hamlet Police Department. After an additional loss of instructional days due to the second winter storm of the season, make-up days have been implemented for Richmond County schools. Traditional school students will report on January 30th and February 24th, both formerly staff development days. All high school exams will began on Monday, January 22nd, and will continue through Thursday, January 25th. In addition to those changes, the first semester will now end on Thursday, January 25th, followed by the beginning of the second semester on Friday, January 26th. Report cards for the second quarter will be issued on Wednesday, February 7th. So if your kid tells you they didn't get a report card that night, they are lying. The government shutdown is over, but on Monday, United States Congressman Robert Pittenger asked not to receive a check while the government was shut down. This was an act that came after congressmen and senators were criticized for not being able to make a deal to avoid the first government shutdown since 2013. The government is back up and running nonetheless, so his paycheck ultimately did not have to be withheld. Congressman Pittenger will make an appearance in Richmond County on Saturday, March 3rd at the Richmond County Republican Convention. He'll be joined by his challenger in the upcoming May Republican primary election, Mark Harris, and also North Carolina State Senator Tom McInnes. J.A. Bolton's column and more are the stories on today's edition of the Richmond Observer. You can read them for free on richmondobserver.com and the free-to-download Richmond Observer app. A lot of questions about the Richmond Observer app. We refer to it as the RO app. We suggest that you search for it on Google Play and the App Store, not as RO, but as Richmond Observer. If you type in Richmond Observer on Google Play or the App Store for iPhone devices, you will find the Richmond Observer app. Remember, it's free to download for iPhone and Android devices, and it is also news delivered in the morning when it's actually news. And also the Classic Rock. Let's go off the cuff a little bit here. The Classic Rock launched yesterday. You heard from Sierra yesterday. She anchored Live at 5. The Classic Rock is a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week radio network playing your favorite hits from the classic rock, 60s, 70s, and 80s era. It's been a tremendous success so far. Good Morning Sandhills is its flagship program, and I am excited to be able to host that every morning with Sierra McQueen. If you have not been able to catch it yet, you'll get to join us tomorrow morning. It's a lot less formal than this show, no doubt about that. It's not a nightly news program. It's a radio talk program, and you're able to call in live and talk to us. if you want to call us tomorrow morning, that number is 817-4511. Again, that number is 817-4511, and we would love for you to join us tomorrow morning, 6 to 8 a.m. Good Morning Sandhills on the Classic Rock, the Sandhills official Classic Rock network. And stay tuned, folks. When we come back, we will be talking to Russell Parker, executive producer of Live at 5, and we're going to be talking about NASCAR. A lot of news in NASCAR right now, including a new track for a new course, a race course, whatever you want to call it. I'm not the expert. We're bringing in the expert. We'll be bringing someone in, Russell Parker rather. We'll be talking about the new setup for Bank of America. I've used 3 different words now to talk about the racetrack in the fall. But the Bank of America 500 will have a new look to it come this fall. We'll be talking about that. Danica Patrick and the Hall of Famers who were inducted in NASCAR this past Friday. All that and more coming up with Russell Parker right after these messages.
At Richmond Community College, we prepare you for a high-skill, high-paying career in a variety of fields. From business to education, engineering, utilities, healthcare, criminal justice, information technology, and human services. At Richmond Community College, we can save you thousands of dollars on tuition through our university transfer programs that provide a seamless transition to universities and colleges throughout North Carolina. At Richmond Community College, we are always developing new courses and programs in response to the communities we serve. We offer day, evening, and online courses, and you can now complete 5 curriculum programs entirely online. At Richmond Community College, we believe in helping you prepare for a better life. Richmond Community College. Local college, big impact.
Willow Tree Antiques and Gifts is all about rustic home decor and gifts. You will always find a variety of unique antiques, vintage, and new items in our shop. Come and see our selection of housewarming, new baby, and wedding gifts. For the man in your life, we have many collectibles, Boker knives, and leather. And ladies love the jewelry, purses, candles, hats, and t-shirts. We also offer a 30-day layaway program. Come and experience shopping at Willow Tree Antiques and Gifts.
Hi, I'm Lance Jenkins, and welcome to your nightly news.
That ain't gonna work.
Oh.
You need to loosen up some. This is Good Morning Sandhills.
All right.
So more relaxed, it's local, it's edgy, anything goes. So that what you just did?
No?
Not gonna fly.
Okay. Is this better?
So much better.
And welcome back to Live at 5, and I'm joined now by college football and today specifically NASCAR analyst Russell Parker. Of course, he's also the executive producer of Live at 5. Russell, great to have you in studio as always.
Thanks for having me.
So today we shift our focus to NASCAR. How many days are we at now?
We are now 26 days away from the Great American Race.
Daytona 500.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I actually got a chance to see Daytona's track. I didn't go inside, but I saw it. Back in the summer of last year, and I'm going to tell you something, that is a beautiful track.
They can fit, I think, about 10 of NFL-sized stadiums inside the infield.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? I mean, it is a big place. There's no doubt about that.
And I love the renovations they did to it.
Sarah and I, right before we got to an outlet for her to shop at, we rode by. I could see it in the distance. I was like, wow, that is a big, big place. But the Daytona 500 coming up very shortly. And how many days away you say?
26.
26 days away to the Daytona 500. And there's a lot going on. NASCAR prepares for this season. One of the things we talked about last year was that Dale Earnhardt Jr. is not racing. And so this is the first season really without Earnhardt in the mix, or at least the father and son combo, for a long time. And you said last week it's going to have an impact on the sport. Before we get into today's highlights, are we going to see that impact pretty early? And is anybody else going to step up with the same star power, you think?
I think a lot of fans are now trying to find out who's going to be their next favorite.
Yeah.
And when you look at it, there's a lot of young guys that already got Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski. Those are the usual young guns. But then you got like guys like Truex. A lot of people I know that's junior fans are going to Truex.
Yeah.
So I think they'll be okay. I think the sport will be fine. A lot of them might go to Jimmy Johnson as well, because his former teammate. A lot of them go to Chase Elliott. I think sport's gonna be fine, but there will be. You'll see a lot of fans probably just not want to watch because there's no more Earnhardt.
Right. And Martin Truex Jr. coming off a big year.
Oh yes.
A Monster Energy Cup championship year. And you've got to think that he's going to carry that momentum into next year. I saw that. I've seen that guy in the highlights. I've seen him race. That guy is a winner, and he likes to win. You can tell that.
Oh yeah.
And Jimmy Johnson, whether you like him or not, kind of has always had that same persona. He's a winner.
He's 7-time champion.
Yeah, he's a winner, and nonetheless, Martin Truex Jr. is certainly going to make an impact on the sport as he continues to impact NASCAR. Now let's talk a little bit about the Hall of Fame. That was the Hall of Famers nominations this year, I guess, were announced.
Yeah, they had the induction ceremony this Friday night.
Oh, the ceremony's been done. Okay, so this past Friday night, who was inducted to the Hall of Fame for NASCAR?
We had Robert Yates go in. He's a legendary team engine builder in the sport. Also, Red Byron, who won the very first ever NASCAR race. That was at the Daytona Beach in 1948. Also, the first ever NASCAR Cup Series champion. Back then, it was a strictly stock racing sport.
Mm-hmm.
Ray Everham, and a lot of people who are Jeff Gordon fans will know that name because he was a crew chief for Gordon, who has won 3 championships in the Cup Series. And Ken Squire, who's actually my favorite out of all the inductees. A NASCAR broadcaster announcer who co-founded Motor Racing Network, and also coined the term the Great American Race for Daytona 500.
Yeah.
And Ron Hornaday Jr., a 4-time, and the only 4-time NASCAR Truck Series champion. And those were all the guys that got inducted.
Wow, and this past Friday night got inducted into the Hall of Fame. That's a pretty big deal. And of course, another big story coming out recently, was it today?
It was yesterday.
Yesterday, that the Bank of America 500 at Charlotte Motor Speedway, that's the fall race. Of course, the spring race is the Coca-Cola 600. But the Bank of America 500 will be largely different than previous years. How so?
Well, they're going to change it up into a road course. So what they're calling the Roval. So it will be roughly two and a half to a little less than 2.5 miles in length. However, they've been reconfiguring the layout for a couple of months now, and I think they finally got the final reconfiguration of it. So if you look on the screen here, you're going to see that we have right around 7, 8, and 9, turn 7, 8, and 9. They're going to take out turn 8, and right down the middle, they're going to put 7 and 9 will be attached together. So you're going to see a lot more speed coming out of turn 6 into 7 and 9. So that's the only change that they did, and I personally like that change because I wasn't really a fan of the S's going through there. It's too slow for me, but I think they're going to pick it up a lot more now for that.
Well, it'd be interesting to see what kind of this type of track. Do you have any early prediction on who that favors?
Usually, I would say AJ Allmendinger because he is a road course. He's a very good veteran when it comes to road courses. When they have Sonoma Raceway and Watkins Glen. When they go to those races, he's usually the favorite to win those races. So I would probably say AJ Allmendinger. They actually had a couple of drivers yesterday testing out this new reconfiguration. Clint Boyer was one of them, I believe. He could be a favorite as well since he's already got some experience of how it's going to be laid out.
It'll be fun to see something new like that over at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
And this is actually pretty interesting, too, that they're coming out with. This is the third track, or I should say that this is the most. They've only had 2 road course races since the 70s in the Cup Series. So this is the first time they've had more than 2 since then.
Wow.
So, yeah, I think NASCAR fans are kind of going to that trend of wanting to see more road course racing other than just the standard cookie-cutter 1.5 mile tracks.
And why do you think that is? Because the other's cookie-cutter and it's kind of the same old, same old? You think it's just something new?
There's a lot of tracks on the Cup Series schedule that are all roughly the same shape as Charlotte Motor Speedway or Atlanta Motor Speedway. And they go through these tracks twice a year, and so it's usually the same type of race you're going to see, usually the same drivers that win those races. So I think changing them up I think that's going to help spike some interest into the sport again.
That'll be neat to see because, I mean, let's just be honest, there has been a decline of interest over the years in NASCAR. Look at the stands. But, you know, I have an adamant opinion about that. If they get back to their roots, they might find some, and I'm not talking about roots about how the course is set up or how the track's set up. I'm talking about getting back to Rockingham Speedway.
Oh, yes.
Getting
certainly.
back to the places.
Wilkesboro, those type of tracks.
Getting back to the places that made NASCAR what they were. And I know there's a lot of issues there that may not be considered. You wrote a column not long ago about the Speedway. And I know there's a lot of issues there that may not, I mean, that we're not even addressing. I mean, it's a piece of property, so that always creates even greater issues. I can't just go in there and do a race tomorrow. But it would be nice to see those tracks that the heritage of NASCAR is embodied in back in the mix.
Yeah, certainly. I definitely agree with that.
So let's talk about Danica Patrick. I mean, she's having a good 2 weeks here. Last week, we find out that she's dating Green Bay quarterback Aaron Rodgers. She's getting some more good news this week.
Yeah.
What's the good news?
Well, her NASCAR career is kind of ending in a bittersweet way. She started out in NASCAR driving the number 7 Gaudet Chevrolet. Now she's going to end it in the Daytona 500 with the number 7 Gaudet Chevrolet. Won't be the same team that she'll be racing for, Pre-Man Motorsports, which is a satellite team out of Richard Childress Racing. But I think she's going to have a nice ending for her career in NASCAR.
And so this is it for her. I mean,
as far as the foreseeable future goes,
assumably,
right now,
yes. So, what kind of, looking at her career in NASCAR, what's the word that comes to mind when you think of Danica Patrick's career in NASCAR?
Well, I think for me, it was pioneer. Not the first female driver in NASCAR, but she was certainly an inspiration to a lot of young women who wants to get in NASCAR and just wants to race in general. So that's my first thought. Most people think of her as crashing in every single race, finishing in the back half of the field or something like that. But in my opinion, she's doing better than half the drivers out there. And she's doing better than what any of us could do who's not in
she's
NASCAR.
doing better than me. Yeah, you see me drive, you know that. Yeah, she has. I mean, and you look at her career in the Indy Series, and it was a lot different. It was a lot different. It's a lot different. Let's be honest, it's a lot different spectrum of the sport in the Indy Series. But in NASCAR, as far as I know, she never won a race.
No,
Yeah.
she won the pole in her first Daytona, or not her first Daytona 500 qualifying, but when she did qualify one of them, she actually did under the pole.
Right, but never won a race. You think that's going to haunt her legacy?
Maybe a little bit. I think she had maybe 1 or 2 top 10 finishes out of her career. But honestly, if you look at, she had an average career. It's not a failure. It's not a home run type of season or
Right.
career for her. But
Right.
she's had an average one. So,
Let me ask you this before we get on with the program. Danica Patrick, she's one of the first, certainly probably the most well-known, widely known female in the sport. Certainly that's arguable, but not much. She certainly was that. My question for you is, having not won a race, I mean, how many people that raced are in the Hall of Fame that never won one?
There's Mark Martin, I believe. Yeah, Mark Martin's one of them. He's never won a race. Surprisingly, he's never won. No, excuse me. All right, I have to get back on that stat. I can't remember if it's championship or race for him. But Mark Martin is a driver that's a really, really big fan favorite. Everybody loves Mark Martin.
I think he's won a race, but he hadn't won a championship. That's
Right,
for sure.
I'm pretty sure it's championship. I'll make sure.
But I mean, like Danica Patrick. I mean, what I'm thinking is she certainly has made her place in history in racing. I'm wondering if she gets into the Hall of Fame. And the biggest blemish really is that she never won a NASCAR race. Is it possible?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Just with what she's been able to accomplish, not just as an NASCAR driver, but as an individual, as a person of the sport.
Yeah.
Has great influence.
And not only that, not only is it possible, do you, as an analyst, think it is justified for her to be in the Hall of Fame in the future when they consider her for it?
I think so. I think there's other drivers that need to go in there before her, though.
Yeah.
But I think certainly we could see her in there one day.
Danica Patrick going to be there for the Daytona 500
And the Indy 500 later on this year.
Yeah. And so that'll be neat. Yeah, I wonder how she'll do in that.
I think she'd do fairly well in it.
Yeah.
I think she will. Compared to her NASCAR and Indy, like you said earlier, she does better in Indy. She seems to have done better, more successful in Indy.
Yeah, because she won races in the Indy Series. Yeah, and one last thing before we move on with Live at 5. Do you think that she has a shot at winning either one of those races? I mean, wouldn't that be epic?
Well, anybody has a chance to win Daytona 500, so it's possible there. Indy 500, that's really, really tough to do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great drivers in IndyCar, and it'll be very tough for her to do that.
Well, it would be an epic ending to her career. If she does that, it all but solidifies her in the Hall of Fame. No doubt about that. But she's probably a shoe-in regardless.
Oh, yeah.
Russell Parker, our executive producer, college football analyst, and of course, NASCAR analyst. We've talked about NASCAR today, bringing you all the latest NASCAR news and big news. We'll talk about this. We'll end this segment here. The RO Sports Show is set to debut next Thursday. You excited?
Oh, yes, I am.
That's going to be fun, and it's going to be an hour and a half, starting at 5:30 p.m. on Thursday. So a lot of excitement.
Oh, yeah.
Going to be a lot of fun to get involved in that. I think we're going to have some very interesting discussions.
Oh, yes.
No doubt about that. A wide array of people on that panel. Of course, I'll be on the show. Russell will be a regular on the show. Jeremy McKenzie will be a regular on the show. Matt Harrelson, he's a Richmond Observer sports contributor, and he is the columnist who writes Matter of Opinion every week, releases midweek every week on richmondobserver.com, and we'll also be joined by managing editor Kyle Pillar. Going to be a diverse array of opinions.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And sports debate, there's nothing better. Russell, great to have you in studio.
Thanks for having me.
Folks, stay with us. When we come back, we will have more news, weather, and sports. Kelsey going to be joining us in just a bit. And we certainly appreciate our listeners on the Classic Rock. We are airing live on the Classic Rock now.
Rock on.
We rock on, yeah. And of course, I'm telling you, if you haven't listened to it yet, you got to check it out. We're airing live on that. If you're listening on the Classic Rock, we appreciate you listening. Stay with us. We'll be right back for more Live at 5 and your nightly news right after these messages. Family Pharmacy is a local pharmacy that's been in business in Rockingham for over 10 years. Located in the Food Lion Shopping Center on US 1 North, we have easy access into the store and a drive-thru for your convenience as well. You can download the official Family Pharmacy app at myfamilypharmacy.com, and we'll help you set it up to text you when your prescription is ready, and you can even set it up to fill your prescriptions when due. Our motto is we'll treat you like family, and it's something we truly mean. We take the same care in filling your prescription that we would take for our own family. Family Pharmacy. We'll treat you like family. Exit Realty Platinum in Rockingham has listed one of the most beautiful homes in Richmond County. Located in Rockingham on Ledbetter Lake, the home features 4 bedrooms with bamboo floors and a kitchen featuring stainless steel appliances and granite countertops, and a master bedroom that overlooks Ledbetter Lake, along with a spacious tile shower and the attached master bathroom. The open living space leads to the back deck with a perfect view of Ledbetter Lake, and the property features its own boat dock. Want to see this beautiful home? Call Nicole Hayden with Exit Realty Platinum, your source for homes in Richmond and Moore counties.
McNair Auto Sales is the place to buy your pre-owned car, truck, or van. To be the best, it takes big selection, friendly staff, and great pricing. We guarantee a no-hassle buying experience, and financing is available right on site. So come see us today. We're located at 1026 East Broad Avenue in Rockingham. And remember, with over 40 years of experience, you know McNair is the name you can trust.
With hospice, you guys just outdo yourselves every day. And I really appreciate it. I honest to God don't know what I would do if it weren't for you. The things that you do, I'm in approval of. And thank you. I don't know what else to say other than thank you.
Welcome back to Live at 5, your nightly news. On Saturday, the Richmond Senior High School boys and girls swim teams attended the inaugural Sandhills Athletic Conference Championship meet at St. Andrews University in Laurinburg. The Raiders and Lady Raiders found a lot of success with their relay teams. In the girls' 200-yard freestyle relay, comprised of seniors Altman Griffin, Mackenzie Webb, and juniors Natalie Davis and Grayson Way, the Lady Raiders finished with a season best time of 2 minutes 11 seconds and 2 minutes 11.56 seconds. That time was 8.5 seconds less than their last meet on January 10th and 22 seconds less than their December 6th meet. As a result, they finished second in their event. That was their best finish of the season. The boys' team did not fare as well in the 200-yard freestyle relay. They were tagged with a stroke infraction and were disqualified from the event. However, they did rebound in the 400-yard freestyle relay when they blew away their previous best time of 5 minutes 4.21 seconds and finished nearly 30 seconds quicker, clocking in at 4:34.74. And that's your recap for sports. And Kelsey, our chief weather reporter, bringing you your 5-day forecast. Kelsey?
Today's 5-day weather forecast is brought to you by McNair Auto Sales. And going straight in, starting with Wednesday, has a 10% chance of rain with a high 59 and a low of 31. Then moving on to Thursday with a 0% chance of rain, and Wednesday and Thursday will be sunny. Just conclude that with a high 55 and a low 29 on that day. And then moving on to Friday, it will be a little cloudy with a 0% chance of rain with a high of 60 and a low of 50. And then Saturday, 10% chance of rain, cloudy with a high 66 and a low of 50 as well. And last but not least, Sunday will be cloudy with a 70% chance of rain, so be prepared for that, with a high of 67 and a low of 41. Other than that, let's go back to Lance at the desk.
Thank you, Kelsey, and that is a wrap for Live at 5, your nightly news. We appreciate you joining us. Remember, you can listen to Live at 5 on demand. You can watch Live at 5 on demand anytime on the Facebook page for the Richmond Observer, our YouTube channel, as well as the Richmond Observer app and richmondobserver.com. And also remember that you can now listen to the audio version on The Classic Rock, and that is theclassicrockradio.com. You can listen to it there, or you can also listen to it on the RO app. At the top of the homepage of the RO app, you can click Listen Live, and it will take you to our 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-per-week radio network where you can listen live at 5. And also remember that you can listen to Live at 5 on the Classic Rock app for Android devices. That is available for free now on the Google Play Store, and we expect our iPhone app to be launched later this week. God bless, folks. We'll do this all over again tomorrow as we bring you your nightly news. Remember, you can read the news every morning for free on richmondobserver.com and the free-to-download Richmond Observer app. So long.